In this video, we are going to look at the English paper for the 2017, and we are dealing with the paper that was written by the external. So now let's look at the question. So we have two sections, so answer both section 1 and 2. Section 1 is dealing with vocabulary with 10 marks. Now the statement is there are 20 items in this section, and for each sentence you are required to replace the underlined word or words with words of similar meaning, synonyms, provided in the box below. Write your answers in the blank spaces provided as shown in the example. So we will have these words, so we can see we'll have the first one, no, infringe, number 2, enrolled, psychic, get rid of, ongoing, then diversify, revealed, then authentic, surpasses, sophisticated, vigor, broke up, acknowledge, adjacent to, attire, fortnight, surveillance, amiable, mobility, disposed of, contemporary. Now with English as a subject and as a language, it's a continuous language. My point is, we are supposed, as long as we are not native speakers for this language, we are supposed to keep on studying, researching, so that we know the grammar rules, even the vocabulary. Now let's look at the first question here. So the first question, after the examination, he got rid of all the books. So to get rid of something, it means like you stop using it, or maybe you dispose. So the answer here is disposed of. So this means that now the books were no longer in use. Then question 2, all the grade 12 learners should come in their sports attire. Meaning, I've even mentioned the answer. So the dress here will be attire. Then question 3, that girl always exceeds her classmates in mathematics. So this means that she's the best in mathematics. I'm sure in terms of position, she comes the first in terms of position. So from these words, the word that can mean to exceed is to surpass. So she surpasses her classmates in mathematics. Then question 4, who disclose that secret to you? So to disclose means to make something that was a secret come to light, or to make it known. So here from these words we have revealed. So the answer is revealed. Then question 5, his rights were violated when he was in prison. So whenever we have violation means you go against the rules and the regulations, even the laws of the given country or a state. So the violation here is means as infringed. Then question 6, the police are investigating a complex murder case. So a complex, in terms of the case, it is a case that is difficult to understand, where maybe it's hard to find, it's hard to connect whatever that happened, so that they may have to have the solid concrete evidence. So a complex can also means as sophisticated. So here the answer is sophisticated. Then question 7, after a period of 14 days we write a test. So 14 days is also known as, from this we have fortnight. Question 8, our house is next to the police office. So from this, okay, so next to means to, adjacent to. Adjacent to. Then number 9, Nirongo was born in the same year as me, and he is therefore my equal or age mate. So age mate, we know the people that we have the same age. So here is contemporary. Contemporary means existing in the same time. So contemporary. Question 10. Mutinda has enlisted for a medical degree at the University of Zambia. So to enlist means enrolled. Then question 11. They sang the national anthem with strength. So strength means they did with their all energy. So from this, the answer is vigor, because vigor has to do with the energy, like it is coming from word vigorous. Then question 12, the police and his parents have put him under a close watch so that he does not join a gang of criminals. So a close watch can mean as surveillance. Then question 13, the teacher will give us a test to psychologically prepare us for a final examination. So psychologically, so it has to do with the mind. So we have the psyche. So the answer is psyche. 14, he is an easy and pleasant to talk to person. So someone who is easy and pleasant, we are looking at a friend is someone it's easy to mingle with. So here, from the given words, an easy person to talk to is amiable. "15, you need to do away with bad table manners." So to do away, it means to stop. So it is to get rid of. Then question 16, her legs are crippled and as such her movement has been hampered greatly. So movement is mobility. So the word mobility comes from the word mobile. Mobile means to move from one position to another. So here we have mobility. Question 17, they separated last year, as such they are no longer husband and wife. So to separate, in terms of this, it means to broke up. Question 18, the investigation are still in the process. So they are still investigating. So in the process, it can also mean as ongoing. So it's still happening. So we have ongoing. Question 19, I wish to confirm receipt of your letter. So to confirm can also mean as acknowledge. We need to broaden our economy so that we do not rely on copper production alone. So to broaden, we are looking at maybe making another sources of income. So to broaden simply means same as diversify. So these were the answers to the first part. Now we move on to section 2. Transformation 10 marks. In each of the following items, sentence A is complete, but sentence B is incomplete. Complete sentence B in each time, making it as similar as possible in meaning to sentence A. Make sentence B one sentence, never two. Do not make any changes to the printed parts of sentence B. Example, I would rather starve than eat worms. I prefer starving to eating worms. So under the transformation, which are also known as the rewrites, this depends on the ability that we have to change a sentence into another sentence, keeping the same meaning as this word it was before. So let's look at question 1. So we have A, until I finish the work, I will not go to the movies. So there is a condition here. There is a condition that if this person will not finish, then this person will not go to the movie. So how can we rewrite if we have not until? So not until I finish the work will I go to the movies. So this is how we can rewrite this. Not until I finish the work will I go to the movies. Then question 2, stay away from the fence, add a question tag. So we can see that this is a negative. It's a negative because we can say stay away. It's like you are told not to do something, so it's a negative. So we are going to use a positive. So we'll say, will you? Then for question 3, unless the boy is proved innocent, he will be sentenced to 15 years in prison. So there is a condition also. So these are conditional sentences. There is the first action that will cause the other action to occur. So if the boy is proven guilty, he will be sentenced. Then if he is not, the opposite is also true. So unless the boy is proved innocent, he will be sentenced to 15 years. So we can say if the boy, so there are two ways in which we can rewrite this one. We can say if the boy is proved innocent, we know what happens if he is proved innocent. We'll say he will not be sentenced. He will not be sentenced to 15 years in prison. So we can rewrite it like this, or if you want we can say if the boy is proved guilty. So if the boy is proved guilty, he will be sentenced to 15 years in prison. We can see that we still have the same meaning. Now we can go to question 4. We have a question that is in direct speech, and now we can see that we have to convert this one into reported speech. So whenever we are looking at that, there are some changes that we have to make. So like your will become as mine. Then this changes to that. Tomorrow changes to it can be next day or the following day. We can use either of the two. So now let's look at the answer. So my mother told me to keep my, sorry, not mine, but my money in that team until the following day or until the next day. So / next day. Then question 5, it is the duty of the monitor to collect the books. Begin, here we can see that the monitor has the duty to collect the books. Then question 6, Hantio was happy to attend the Kuomboka ceremony and see the Litunga. Then begin, Hantio enjoyed attending. So enjoyed attending the Kuomboka ceremony. And seeing the Litunga. So here we have two actions that we need to keep in. So this person was happy for two things to be done. So the first thing that was done was this person attended. Then because of the attendance, this person was happy. Not only happy because of the attendance, but this person was also happy because of seeing the Litunga. So Hantio enjoyed attending the Kuomboka ceremony and seeing the Litunga. Then we have question 7. Both Sichula and Yelesani are good at mathematics. Sichula, so say as well as Yelesani, so after you mention, so this means that these two, they are equal in terms of good at mathematics. So here Sichula as well as Yelesani, instead of saying are good, we'll say it changes to singular. So you say is good at mathematics. So that's a rule. Okay, so now we can move on to question 8. Mrs. Milimo was poor, but she managed to send her 6 children to school. Begin, poor, so say poor was Mrs. Milimo. Mrs. Milimo. Poor was Mrs. Milimo, but she managed to send her 6 children to school. So question 9, we came here because we want to see the extent of the damage to the bridge. So we came here with a view to, so these expressions, there is a view to, there is a view of. So we use the view to if there was a reason why, so the reason why these people went wherever they went was to see the extent. So we came here with a view to see the extent of the damage to the bridge. Question 10, it was not necessary for Mugulugule to come for the meeting. So the presence of this person was not necessary. So whether he or she attended the meeting was still what? So mugulugule needn't to come, for the meeting. So even in or absence, the meeting was still hold. Then we go to section question 2. Comprehension 20 marks. Read the following passage carefully and then answer the questions that follow. So comprehension, to comprehend means to understand. So this part of English depends on how good are you with understanding of a good passage. So here we have been given a passage with some of the paragraphs that we have to make sure we understand the meaning. So let's look at the title of this passage. So it's Afro-aversion in Africa. So Afro-aversion in Africa. To averse, it means the dislike or the negative of something, like we Africans or black people are mostly hated by the whites. So that negative feeling or impact that it has is what we call the Afro-aversion. So now let's look at the first paragraph. Is it the texture of our hair, or the whole of our skin, or perhaps the strength or features that make us more or less appealing to the world? Whatever it is, the issue of Afro-aversion is definitely one that confronts us in our day-to-day lives. Okay, so this is all about the Afro. So let's go at 2. Toni Morrison, in a 1970 book, The Bluest Eye, gives a lengthy account of a fictional Piccola, Breedlove. Piccola is a young African-American girl, blessed with rich, dark skin and every other feature connoting blackness. As a young girl, she falls victim to a cruel world that deems her kind of beauty ugly. Her skin is considered too dark even by her own kind. This makes her repulsive to nearly all who come across her and prompts her to detest every facet of existence. She resolves to change her eye color to blue to resemble that child idol Shirley Temple, whose white skin, blue eyes, and blonde hair seems to captivate the entire world. Paragraph 3. Her life is constantly weighed down by the Afro-aversion her society is infected with, where light is better than black. This constant social pressure thrusts the young girl into a pitiful world of self-hate and robs her of her self-esteem, leading her on a downward spiral into emptiness. Paragraph 4. In a southern African country where nearly 70% of the population comprises a typical African-looking people, it rouses great thought to see many people going to extreme length to conceal their natural identity. Then 5. Afro-aversion in this context refers to the tendency to avoid physical appearance connoting blackness. That is, a flat or broad nose, curly hair, thick lips, and dark skin. A tour of the continent will reveal a picture so diverse in nature, but each with a growing trend, the issue of Afro-aversion. Women and men alike across the continent are bleaching their skins pale, some to the point of which their veins are easily visible by the naked eye. Contact lenses and various medical procedures are making it possible for our brothers and sisters to alienate themselves even further from their natural African identity. 6. Like Piccola, Breedlove, Many African women and girls today fell victim to the stereotypes attributes to skin color. In many cultures, light-skinned women are deemed more desirable than their counterparts. In several parts of the continent, light skin is seen as a status of wealth and prosperity, where dark skin is associated with poverty. This heavy emphasis on the value of lighter skin is reflected in several parts of Africa today. Employers feel more confident in employing a Caucasian or light-skinned individual than a dark-skinned person. Lighter-skinned actors and actresses are perceived as having greater public appeal than their turned peer. 7. For the 11-year-old girl looking for a role model, very few women on her television screen offer solace. They all possess a delicate complexion, unlike her dark-turned face. Their noses are perfectly countered to appear long and thin in dark-turned face. In contrast to her broad nose. Her appearance creates a thorn in her own flesh, such that she cannot bear to look into the mirror without casing the genetics that define her African identity. Today's media is constantly castigating for whitewashing content. Producers would rather cast models, actors, actresses, particularly healing, bearing European traits. The long, straight hair, pale skin, thin nose, and lips, all aimed at promoting the stereotype that is light or anything black negates the standards of beauty or desirability. Fashion designers and other media stakeholders have been known to favor Western beauty standards to typical African ones. Women will be forced to relax their hair or use artificial extensions in order to satisfy the European aesthetic. The effect of this can only be understood through the modern day picolas, the African women who go to great and often disastrous length to attain a more European or Western appearance. Number 9. In addition to modifying their faces and eyes, these women spend thousands of dollars each year on their extensions, skin lightening creams, and other cosmetics. Much of their energy and efforts are invested in a vain pursuit to be accepted by the shady temples of the world. The gatekeepers of attractiveness and desirability, the Hollywood stars and the starlets whose flawless appearance causes the people of the world to cringe at their own reflection. So the whole story of this passage is about the Afrovision, where the black color is considered to be not in terms of beauty, where it's downy. In terms of intelligence, it's considered also downy. Then let's look at question 1. According to paragraph 1, what makes us more or less appealing to the world is? So let's go back to paragraph 1. So paragraph 1, is it the texture of our hair or the hue of our skin, perhaps the strength of our features that makes us more or less appealing to the world? Whatever it is, the issue of Afrovision is definitely one that confronts us in our day-to-day lives. Okay, sure, by now we've got the key point. So according to paragraph 1, what makes us more or less appealing to the world? Not clearly stated. Texture of, so it's not clearly stated. We don't know, because we can see that there were some assumptions that were being made here. So there is the question, is it the texture of the hair or the skin, or perhaps the strength? So we don't know. So the actual reasoning of that hatred or negative toward the black people is not clearly stated. We don't know. Then in paragraph 1 also for question 2, Afro aversion is less appealing, not an issue, confronting us a daily. So here is like we are trying to define what Afro aversion is in paragraph 1. So Afro aversion is less appealing. It's all about you see the other person to be less appealing. So less of importance, like he's not that important like the first one. Then question 3, according to paragraph 2, the author of the passage states that the story of Piccola Breedlove is a -1. So let's go back so that we can add. So paragraph 2. So reads Todd Morrison in her 1970 book, The Bluest Eye, gives a length account of fictional Piccola Breedlove. Piccola is a young African-American girl blessed with rich dark skin and every other feature connoting blackness. As a young girl, she falls victim to a cruel world that deems her kind of beauty ugly. Her skin is considered too dark even by her own kind. This makes her repulsive to nearly all who comes across her and prompts her to detest every facet of her existence. She resolves to change her eye color to blue to resemble that of her child idol Shelley Temple, whose white skin, blue eyes, and blonde hair seem to captivate the entire world. So let's go back now to question 3. So according to paragraph 2, the author of the passage states that the story of Piccola Breedlove is it's a real one. Then let's go to 4. Paragraph 3 describes light as being better than black. So let's go back to this paragraph 3. So paragraph 3 reads, her life is constantly weighed down by the Afro aversion. Her society is infected with her, where light is better than black. This constant social pressure thrusts the young girl into a pitiful world of self-hate and robs her of her self-esteem, leading her on a downward spiral into emptiness. So to thrust means to push suddenly or violently in a specified direction. So we have the answer by now. So let's look at the multiple choices. So describe light as being better than black. It's like we are comparing the two. We have a white person and a black person, and we consider a white person better than a black one. Then 5, paragraph 4. What is meant by the expression to conceal their natural identity? To conceal means to hide. Because of the fear of neglection, the fear of negative talk, you now start to hide. So the answer is just be here, hide who they are. Then 6, according to paragraph 5, Afro aversion is a behavior that, so let's go back to paragraph 5. So paragraph 5, Afro aversion in this context refers to the tendency to avoid physical appearance connoting blackness. That is, a flat or broad nose, curly hair, thick lips, and dark skin. A tour of the continent will reveal a picture so diverse in nature, but each with a growing trend. The issue of Afro aversion, women and men alike across. So this issue is affecting women and men, whereby they reach the stage of now breaching their skin's pale, some to the point of which their veins are easily. So it is affecting men and women. So let's look. Now 6, according to paragraph 5, Afro aversion is a behavior that involves only women, nor is strange to women, nor praises being black, nor shuns feature. So to shun means to ignore. Then from paragraph 6 we can conclude that, let's go back to paragraph 6. So, like Piccola Breedlove, many African women and girls today fell victim to the stereotypes attributed to skin color. In many cultures, light-skinned women are deemed more desirable than their counterparts. In several parts of the continent, light skin is seen as a status of wealthy, so here we have wealthy and prosperity, whereas dark skin is associated with poverty. This heavy emphasis on the value of light skin is reflective in several parts of Africa today. Employers feel more confident in employing a Caucasian or light-skinned individual than a dark-skinned person. Okay, so let's go back to now the question. So from paragraph 6, we can conclude that light-skinned people make better employees. Men, women, and girls are dark-skinned. No one needs a light skin to prosper. D, society favors the light skin. So this is our best answer. Society favors the light skinned. A is answer, but the best one is D, because we saw that the whole information it was about light skin. So everything in terms of acting, employees, wealthy, prosperity, all those are connected with the white people. So it is favoring this. Then paragraph 7. Her appearance creates a thorn in her own flesh. Means that she A likes her appearance, B is a thorn like in her appearance, is annoyed by her looks. So this one is just C, is annoyed by her looks. Question 8, paragraph 8. The effect of this, the word this refers to. Let's go back to paragraph 8. So 80, paragraph 80. Today's media is constantly castigating for whitewashing content. Producers would rather cast models who have actors, actresses, particularly bearing European traits. Okay, so the first one, we are looking at producers choosing this over black people. Then let's look at the point. The long straight hair, pale skin, thin nose and lips, all aimed at promoting the stereotypes that light is light or anything black negates the standard of beauty. So to negate is from the negative, so anything black is considered negative in terms of beauty or desirability. It's not desired. Fashion designers and other media stakeholders have been known to favor Western beauty standards to typical African one. Okay, women will be forced to relax their, okay, by now we have the answer. So paragraph 8, the effect of this, the word this refers to. Okay, fashion designers and media stakeholders relaxing hair, artificial extension, the African women who appear Western, a typical African beauty standard. So it's this one. Now let's look at the last part. From the underlined words in the passage, find one word which is an antonym or near opposite for each of the following words. So antonym means meaning, in terms of meaning, it means opposite to a given word. So we have the attractive, rough, darkening, like. Okay, so let's go back to the underlined words. So from paragraph 1, the first one is confronts. We know what to confront means. Then connoting, to connote means being a sign or to indicate, deems like reducing somebody's beauty. Repulsive, so repulsive simply means arousing intensity. Then to detest is like to hate. Okay, so now let's go. Then we have thrust, push, suddenly. What else do we have? We have bleaching, bleaching, making something more whiter. Then what else? What else? We have delicate, something that is soft. So they all possess a soft complexion. Okay. Then what else? Okay, we have to attain, like to get. So let's go back now to our questions. So attractive, to attractive means same as repulsive. So we have repulsive. Rough. So rough, something that is smooth, delicate. Darkening. So darkening, we'll go with the what word can we go with from these? Bleaching. So bleaching, we'll go with it, darkening. Then like means to detest. So that is what I can share with you guys under this paper. So I would like to hear your comments in the comment section below about this. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.